Hey guys, we're back with the next episode of our Sryth Fantasy Text-Based RPG. Last time we were finishing up Selundor's Ring of Illusion challenge, and we met the king, and we met the game master, and it was just super awesome episode. This one we're just gonna head back to Tridmore and continue our adventures. Right? Right. So let me do that. Trimmore's in southern, right? Right? No, central. Central? Yeah. No, no. Salinas. How come I never can keep up with where anything is? Eastern. Southeast. There it is. Yeah, southeast. I think I was doing Trimore, right? Then Eppin is gonna love me one day. Tally's just following me around. That's what I'm getting from him being everywhere. Let's check the Avengers. Oh, there's only one. So this is not what city I was in. But we're here, we might as well do it. At Forest Edge, embark. Thanks so much for hanging out and joining me. Let's go. The edge of Fernpath Wood, south of Tridmore, near the ruins of an ancient fort. The soldiers around you suddenly fall back, bearing their wounded comrades to safety as Captain Trumred's voice thunders through the crisp morning air, beseeching his men to retreat to the crumbling wall of the ruined fort. The Tissian field captain, whose brash demeanour and laudable bravery has long served to win him the respect of those under his command, moves up to your side, acknowledging you with a respectful nod and an ill-tempered grunt. Ugh. Not far away at the forester's inn, the towering Dormuck and its lesser kin continued to advance on the outpost that awoke. They woke in rage, a fearsome spectacle. 11 men down, but none of them dead, says the aging captain, nearly breathless from the unexpected skirmish with the foul tree creatures and his secret and desperate retreat. If we could chop down the big one, he might scatter the rest of them. We can't let them reach the outposts. At the fort, as the 14 Dormer continued their slow, steady trek toward the ruins of the ancient fort, your mind races. Captain Tronred's bold notion is sound. Killing or driving back the massive Dormug would likely shatter the morale of the lesser tree beings. However, attempting to do so would require wading into the enraged horde in an uninviting and potentially deadly prospect. I fell beast worse than that old rot, gasped the captain, doing his best to conceal his fatigue. Is your little ones off and my men, and I'll see the big one. Despite his bravado, you certain the captain is in no shape to tackle even one of the smaller Dormug, much less the fierce behemoth around which the tree creatures have rallied. Since arriving at the outpost, intent on helping the soldiers stationed here rebuild a crumbling wall, you've learned that Captain Trunred is both a skilled warrior and astute tactician. The Whitehead commander, a decorated veteran of countless goblin conflicts along the eastern Tissian border, has yet to admit that time is catching up with him. Captain Tromrad repeats what he said only moments ago, telling you that if you can draw away the smaller Dormic that are seen of them, he and his men will attack the towering leader of the tree creatures. A group of 5 soldiers among the captain's best fighters arrive at his side, their blades drawn and their uneasy gazes fixed on the advancing Zormugs. You consider your options for just another moment for telling the captain a plan of action you have in mind. I'll do it myself, don't worry about it. The captain seems reluctant to allow you to confront the Dormic leader on your own, but he ultimately abandons his position, saying that he sees the sense in your plan. You know your own ability well enough, he says. Alright, we'll do what we can to draw off the others and leave the big one, do you? I can't fault him, that should keep us busy enough. Right then, no delay, no quarter. With that, you boldly make your way toward the forest edge, following the heels of Captain Trumred's troop. Your gaze fixed on the grim legion now fully merged with the wood's sprawling shadow. You watch as Captain Trumred and his intrepid warriors break into charge, assaulting the flank of Dormic Legion, drawing the ear and full attention of the wicked tree creatures. As the lesser Dormic peel away from the towering leader, now single-mindedly focused on pursuing the captain and his men, you rush forward, determined to bring down the ancient terror. The massive Dormic, its branches clattering wildly, turns its cruel gaze upon you and moves to meet your attack. Quick Death to the heathen. With the echoes of the final blow ringing in your ears, the mighty dormouse crashed to the ground. You cast your gaze in the direction of Captain Trumbull and his men, and a leap to discover that the death of the ancient dormouse has had a profound effect on the morale of its lesser kin. No longer in pursuit of the soldiers, a horde of dormouse is moving toward the edge of the forest. The tree creatures reach the wood and swiftly disappear into the dense foliage. Within a few minutes, Captain Trumred and his men join you next to the remains of the ancient dormouse. The captain, his face flushed and his breathing deep and irregular, leans against one of the tree creature's thick limbs as he struggles to recover from the endeavor that left him thoroughly spent. Despite a smattering of scrapes and bruises, neither he nor any of the 5 soldiers with him have sustained any serious injuries. I ought to know a little better, he gasped, smiling. They're the sort of worst lads whose leg can bear it. I'll be all right. No worrying over me, any of you lot. After sending his men back to the outpost, Captain Trumred stands at your side next to the remains of the massive dormouse. He kicks the creature's twisted trunk and sighs. Sad, really, when you think of it. There shouldn't be any reason we couldn't have some sort of understanding with these beasts. A shame, I dare say, but they're not quite like their more amiable kin, are they? Well, that's done. What's done is done, let's head back. What are you talking about? Dormu, an ancient race of tree beings not commonly seen in Sryth for many centuries. Those dormu who remain are shy, reclusive creatures who seek secluded shelter places in which they avoid contact with the world, to which they no longer feel they belong. The dormu are most akin to large hardwoods. Their eyes and mouths are closed, it's nearly impossible to tell them apart from these trees. Dormu can move if required, but they usually choose to sink their roots deep into the ground and remain in the same place for years. If angered, the threatened dormu will attack and provide a fierce and deadly foe, but these beings prefer to stay hidden, content to allow the troubles of the wider world pass them by. 3 days later, the original objective of your visit to the outpost has been achieved. A rebuilt, fully intact wall now surrounds the crumbling fort, providing the garrison that will be stationed here with some degree of protection against the many perils it might expect to encounter in this wild region. With your thoughts already bent on finding your next adventure, you take your leave of Captain Trumred and his rugged troop. The captain walks you to the edge of the road that passes within 100 yards of the outpost. There he meets you in a shoulder cross and bids you farewell. I like to think we'll cross paths again, he says. Though, like you, I'm not one for staying put anywhere for very long. Who's to say? We'll just have to leave that to the fate, I suppose. Stay strong and good luck to you. As they're heading along the road away from the outpost for several minutes, you turn and look back at the crumbling fort and catch a final glimpse of Captain Trumred, and his distant figure slips behind a stone-crowned rampart and is lost from view. Yay! We win. Okay, I didn't mean to do that. So what was that, Northern? No, we did Halleck. It must have been Telenius. Why did I think it was Tridmore? I don't know. Yeah, see, it's Telenius. Alright, let's see what's going on here next. Avengers, I say. I would like to go to my castle right quick. Because we haven't done any upgrades this time yet. From the bottom, what do we got here? Vases for the vase gallery, trophies for the trophy gallery, ice sculptures for the ice sculpture garden. Oh, this one could be in May. Oh, that's nice. No thanks. Winter garden is what it's called. Ornamental weapons for the weapons rack. Well, the dreams for the world chamber. Sculpture gallery. Moon whistle flower. No, I'm getting flowers. The rack for the torture chamber. We're not doing torture chambers for dungeons, okay? Not right now. We have a secret passages already. It don't need watchful art. I mean, we do know the king now, so we can put up a thing of the king. Why do I need a statue of me? Let's do the Tekaback shield. And then no mounted heads. I mean, I'm pretty vain. Upgrades, let's say hi to candles. Candles. Oh, let's go to my storeroom. Store some stuff. I need that. Put down my cloak. Need that. Oh, that's it. Hey, candles. How are you? Alright, let's leave. Travel back to Central Teaser, to Linus, and let's save. Save. Alright. Adventures. Let's start with the Twin Blades. You summons to the Citadel for a private audience with, hey, it's King. King Winrold is delivered to you by a royal courier almost the moment you step into the city gates. The young man, his attire and mannerisms consistent with those of someone who spent the best part of his life embroiled in the affairs of a monarch's court, swiftly bows and departs, offering you no other details of the meeting that will take place tomorrow at midday. You watch the courier climb aboard. I wonder when the king was going to contact us already. The coach that bore him to the gates and roll away along the broad thoroughfare that established the very heart of Tisa's ancient capital. Wondering what the summons might portend, and secretly elated the crown may at last be seeking your help, was setting off on your way, eager for tomorrow to arrive. You arrived at the Citadel slightly before midday and are immediately met at the imposing gates by one of King Rinwell's advisors, flanked on either side by an armored guardsman. Promptly and without ceremony, you're led into the mighty fortress, the very heart of one of the oldest and most powerful nations of the North Broadlands, and to the guarded door of the King's throne chamber. 4 guards, 2 wearing swords and 2 holding tall iron-hafted spears, step to the side as the advisor draws up to the door. He mustn't for you to remain in the hall, and he opens the door and disappears into the chamber beyond. Moments later, he re-emerges and tells you that the king is ready to see you. This is a private audience, the advisor says, casting his glance at every guardsman present. No one else is to be admitted by order of the king. Hold weapons, says one of the guards, stepping forward and motioning toward the instruments of battle in their position. Those are not permitted beyond that door. Then perhaps you will be the one to tell our good king just that, the advisor snaps. This is a guest of great honor, and she is not to be waylaid. His words produce an immediate sobering effect on all present. The guardsman apologizes to you and then to the advisor. Listen, I'm noble. You can trust me. The suspect resumes his rigid stance against the wall. The advisor tells you and turns to you and nods, and then pushes open the heavy banded door of the throne room. You step beneath the ornate stone arch in the house that houses the door, and a weighty slab of oak closes in your wake. You're taken aback to find yourself almost face to face with the king. Hello. Your Majesty. The tall, broad-bladed, grey-bearded man standing before you, his fur-lined robe sweeping the floor at his heels, nods and smiles. A pair of kindly, deep-set blue eyes peer out at you from beneath his bushy, grey brows. You respectfully bend on one knee before bend the knee, the rule of Tisa, but he promptly motions for you to rise. No sooner have you regained your feet, the king steps forward and initiates a shoulder cross. It has been quite some time. It's been quite some while since last we stood on Solunda's field, he says, his smile broadening. I regret to have tell you that I have last decided to take you up on your offer you made to me that day. Our kingdom has need to ask the aid of its greatest adventurer, Allison. Yeah, I am the greatest adventurer. The king strides over to the fire and lowers himself into a plain but sturdy chair to the left of the hearth. He offers you the seat opposite, and no sooner have you taken it. He thrusts a silver vessel into your hand. The pungent but enticing aroma of well-aged root wine rises up to greet you out of the intricately engraved cup. I well know that you and I walk different roads, he says, the kindly tone of his voice suggesting that his words are not meant to offend. I do not know all that you are privy to, what whispers reach your ears, or from whose lips they pass, but what have you heard about the business in Murgsville? You're taken aback by the question, uncertain to how to answer it, and quickly realize he's attempting to gauge the extent of your knowledge about whatever he's alluded to with regards to the river port. You've heard nothing of it? He says, raising his eyebrows. He sips his root wine. It's surprising and comforting, I must confess. Perhaps we are in time to do something about it before anybody or anyone else has to die. Who's died? You're about to ask what has happened in Mergsville when King Renwell holds up his left hand, instinctively resists the urge to speak, and falls silent as the monarch swallows the remainder of the contents of his vessel and rises from his chair. With his hand clasped on the back of his robe and his shoulders slightly stooped, the imposing grey-bearded figure begins pacing in front of the fire. The twin blades again cast a shadow upon the realm, he says, resting his hand on the ornate mantle as he turns to look at you. I don't believe they need any introduction. 7 are dead in Mergsville by their hands, and it is feared that it has only begun. You are well aware of the twin blades the king has mentioned, Sryth and Thalinor. Yeah. Brother and sister brigands of exceptional cruelty and warriors of remarkable skill. Let's read a bit about them, huh? The twin brother and sister, who long list of foul deeds have earned them the infamous moniker the Twin Blades. This reminds me of Fable, because the guy's name's Twin Blade, because he has 2 swords. Anyway, Sryth and Thalinor began their storied careers as outlaws early in life, when upon the death of their father, a ruthless brigand known to most as Silverfang, I know Silverfang, they assumed control of the remains of the band of highwaymen. Under control of the twins, is that my fault? Who displayed not only their father's cruel nature, but also his fearsome skill with all manner of weaponry, the small band of highwaymen quickly grew into a small army of robbers and raiders that mercilessly pillaged outlying settlements across the entire breadth of the southern Tisa. Alas, when the rewards put on their heads by the crown became more than even the most ardent of brigands could hope to resist, the twins were betrayed by a handful of their own and captured by border rangers in an ambush near the city of Trinmore. The twins escaped from the ranger captors 3 days later. On the journey to Talinas, where they were to stand accused of a long and gruesome litany of their crimes, they were captured twice again in the decades that followed and managed to escape twice more. After their last escape, which left 3 border rangers and 5 soldiers dead on a road south of Sryth, Sryth and Thalinor disappeared. Most believe they have fled to North Broadlands entirely. Their group of number felt they are simply hiding out in some remote nook of the wilds of Tisa, patiently waiting the day that they would seek their revenge on the betrayers and their kin. They were sighted fleeing from the river port a week ago, said the king. There were 7 dead in the belly of the storm-walled inn. I have no doubt that some among them were related to betraying that came so very close to placing the 2 demons in the hangman's rise. Their betrayers are likely far and wide, and what I've seen in Mergsville will be echoed in every corner of the kingdom if they are not found. Simply cannot come to pass. King Renwell tells you that while the border rangers and a large number of agents are already searching, yes, for the dangerous pair across the kingdom, he feels that the task of finding the outlaws and bringing them to justice might be better matched to the skills of a master adventurer. Yeah, that's me. Long indeed is a list of your accomplishments, Allison, he says. The outlaws we seek will know to be wary of guardsmen and rangers, but someone like you is less likely to arouse their warranted suspicion. The king steps forward and places his broad hand on your shoulder and looks you square in the eye and asks you to accept the task of hunting down Twin Blades and bringing the cruel, vengeful brigands to justice. Yeah, of course. Your acceptance of the task is met with a broad smile by King Renwald. The grey-bearded monarch reaches out and initiates a shoulder cross and tells you that his mind is now much relieved. Your task must commence at once, he says. The king tells you that from what his agents abroad have been able to gather, Sryth and Thalinor have already begun to assemble a confederation of these and other undesirable characters, in what is likely an effort to aid in their search of those who betrayed them. It is also just perhaps an attempt at reconstituting some of their former ill-guided glory, he says with obvious derision. You might do well to see if you can locate any of these suspected confederates of theirs. It might be your best chance to find the murderous pair. The Twin Blades aren't likely to make themselves readily available. At length you prepare to take your leave of the king. He pours you more root wine, and while you savor the aroma and flavor of the strong spirit, he cautions you to remain on your guard at all times. Zerithor and Thalinor have slipped through our fingers by their own luck. He says, I urge you to take great care in your pursuit. Report back to me as necessary. May the All-Father guide and watch over you, Allison. You bow respectfully before the king and Allison, he says, his eyes narrowing. His gaze meets your own. I care nothing for how you choose to deal with him. Alive or dead, it is of little consequence. A few minutes later, you once again outside the imposing citadel on the streets of Tolinas. Well, since they are commonly known to escape, I think death calls upon them on swift wing. What's this say? Something else? No, it's the same. Okay. What? I missed it. Yes, this is what I want to do. Alright, we got time. Let's go. As you travel through the kingdom, following up on rumors and chasing down phantom sightings of the outlaws you seek, you're unable to shake the unnerving feeling you are being followed every step. Your exploration takes you far and wide across nearly all of Tisa, and as you search towns, cities, villages, and the wild for any sign of the elusive deadly outlaw pair or their confederates. Despite the ordinary trails and perils associated with travel throughout the kingdom, you discover nothing that will help you locate the two fugitives. Your exhaustive exploration and diligence on tracking down leads and rumors ultimately brings you to the outskirts of the Griffin Crag, where early one frigid morning you come upon a portly graying man whom you learn is possible in league with the outlaws you're seeking. Luckily, the element of surprise is on your side. As you study the man you tracked to this point, you attempt to determine your next course of action. Sneak. Gating. You channel your power of gating. A swirling black portal immediately opens to your right. Wasting no time, you step into the portal and emerge, and a second later directly behind the unsuspecting man. A sharp blow to the back of the head sends him sprawling to the ground. Your blow has stunned the man. He makes a weak attempt at regaining his feet, but swiftly collapses. You quickly place your foot upon his chest and issue him stop, warning in effort to deter any further attempts at flight. As he gasps for air, you caution him about the twin blades and his connection to them. The colour drains from his face upon your mention of the outlaw pair. With only a few seconds, he begins to tell you a long and meandering tale about his association with the sinister duo. You learn intently that to what he has to say, discarding immediately those pieces of information you determine to be lies, and committing to memory anything you feel will lead you to the outlaws you seek. When you interrogate the man is complete, you render him conscious of a death blow in the back of the skull and hide his body nearby. I'll take a few moments to gather your thoughts and checking if equipment was can set off on your way. Still a long way off, huh? Somebody's watching me. And we discover nothing. And some more. The exploration takes you far and wide. Discover nothing. And explore. Somebody else? Tall crane man. Sneak. Gating. Worked last time. Yep, he's going to do the same action. It's a long way off. It's okay. Explore. Okay, let's try direct approach. The brazen tactic pays off. The slim man seems distrustful at you at first, but after a brief conversation that gradually wanders into some more recent bits of news from around the kingdom, you appear to have gained his confidence. You try hard to conceal your profound interest when he begins discussing the recent sightings of the twin blades that seem to have taken place in every corner of the realm. At length, not wishing to arouse his suspicions further, you bid him farewell and prepare to set off on your way. Still a long way off. Where are we now? The Griffin Crags. We're all over the kingdom, we're not kidding. The poor horse, hopefully he's alright. Direct. Still a long way. Keep exploring. Keep exploring. Someone's following me. Sneak, let's try illusion. You call upon your power of illusion and create a near-perfect likeness of a man strolling towards your target. With his attention held by the masterful illusion, you slip up from behind, strike a sharp blow to the back of your head, sending him sprawling to the ground. Same stuff. Still a long way off. Alright. Explore. Is this like gonna be a never-ending thing? Alright, sneak. Let's do thievery this time. With barely a sound, you creep up behind the unsuspecting man with a well-pressed ease and strike a sharp blow to the back of his head, sending him sprawling to the ground. We run away. On the withering wood this time. With sketch information, you feel that you're slowly getting closer. Yes! You're getting closer. Alright, looks like we're sneak, thievery. We're getting closer. Direct. Somebody's watching my every step. So very sinister. Getting closer. How many of these you think? 20? Sneak illusion. Feel like you're getting close to be able to. Yes! It's getting closer. We're gonna kill them because they get away too easily, so can't get away if they're dead. Direct. Success. Snake. Gating. Success. Sneak. Thievery. Getting close. Why come they only deal with the gray-haired people? Oh, it's a slim young man in the Griffin Crags. Let's go direct. I'm extremely close now. Let's go direct. Alright. We'll sneak the next couple times. Sneak. Come on, Eileen. Oh, I swear. Alright, let's hit direct. You now find a location marked the hidden camp. On the return to previous discover location of such for should have saved your game. Alright, let's save. Well, look a gift horse in the mouth. Let's see about trading some stuff here. How about we train our weaponry, huh? We can get the 90. Get it. Skills. That's right, we're Archmaster. Alright. Hidden camp deep in the dark forest. Deep in the forest north of Mergsville, you discover a small, well-concealed camp in a clearing that's surrounded by dense laurel and an almost impenetrable wall of bramble. 2 hide tents and smoldering fire pit make up the entirety of the rugged settlement, and after observing from a safe distance for several minutes, you're convinced that it is deserted. You're about to move forward and investigate the abandoned camps in hope of discovering if it indeed it belongs to the outlaw pair when you've been seeking when a sharp tip of your blade presses into your spine. Don't even twitch, hisses a masculine voice from behind you. Divination. What? He said don't twitch. What a rude. Standing only a few yards from you, his long dark hair drapes across his leather-clad shoulders, is a man who needs no introduction. Sryth, whose unshaven and somewhat bony face reveals the many months he's recently spent hiding in the wilds, sneezes and shakes his head as he looks over you. This is the best day to send, he said in a drastic tone. A glorified goblin slayer. You'll soon wish you'd stayed out of this, friend. With unnerving speed, the ruthless brigand throws himself at you in a furious assault, quickly putting you on a defensive as you attempt to fend off his attack. Death. You step back from the corpse of the slain brigand and take a moment to wipe away the blood and sweat that streams down your brow. A sudden sound of footfall in the soft earth to your right spins your head in that direction. Creeping up on you through the undergrowth is the sister of the man you just slew, the more skilled and deadly half. Of course she is. Of the sinister pair that have long been known as the Twin Blades. Thalinor, whose unmistakable attractive face is somewhat drawn and haggard, glances at her brother's unmoving body and then returns her steely gaze to you. At a word, the master swordswoman springs forward, displaying even greater skill than her slain skin. You fall back several feet, drawing yourself into a defensive stance as you prepare to fight her to the death. Okay, good night. The Twin Blades are no more. Here in the heart of the ancient forest north of Mergsville, less than 24 yards from their last meager abode, the cruel and bloody campaign of terror and death, long waged by the wicked pair, has finally reached its end. You make a quick search of the bodies and discover the following. Okay, we'll take it. And the goal. You carefully conceal the bodies of Sryth and Thalinor and head south of the forest back towards... Why? Don't you have to tell the king about it? As luck would have it, on the road to Mergsville you encounter 6 mounted border rangers riding toward the river port. The rangers stare wide-eyed as you, and you listen to the details of your accounts of the Twin Blades in the forest just to the north. 2 of the rangers ride on to Mergsville, while the remaining pair you lead to the concealed camp and the bodies of Thalinor and her brother. As one of the rangers prepares to set about the grim job of removing the heads of the slain pair so that they may be retained as proof of their deaths, you conclude that your mission is completely and prepared to depart. Our word will normally be enough, said the ranger, standing closest to you as he turns away from the unpleasant spectacle that's about to commence, but with this pair, I think a little solid evidence of the demise can hurt. You bid farewell to the rangers and set off to Mergsville, where you plan to spend a couple of days resting before heading back to Telenas. You return to Telenas 9 days after the completion of your mission is thankfully uneventful. When at last you reach the citadel, you immediately ushered to meet with King Renwald. You're not surprised to find the grey-bearded monarch has already learned of the mission's success. Word reached me only 2 days ago, and I've hardly been able to sleep since, he says, as he is filled with ornate silver vessel with root wine and thrusts it into your waiting hand. I expect that you will have a full account for me. Spare in my ear nothing else, and I wish to savor every word. When you finish relating the details of your long search and the clues and information that led you to the hidden camp in which you found the outlaws, the king smiles and leans back in his high-backed chair next to the fire. We'll go down into histories without question, he says, but it is, after all, only the beginning. There's much that this strange new age has ushered in, which in time will be forced to confront. I hope that I may continue to rely upon you, my friend. You nod and politely tell the king that you will be at his service when again the need to summon you arises. You're not a mercenary, and I will not think to treat you as such, but I dare someone like you could always use a few of these, he says, and he hands you a small leather pouch. You're pleasantly surprised to discover the pouch contains a small amount of adventure tokens. Woot woot! You thank the king, but he quickly tells you that your gratitude is not necessary. With the Twin Blades no longer among the living, never again able to cut short another life, innocent or otherwise, there should be a tenfold the number of tokens in that pouch. Of course, I think you'll agree that those pieces are just a bit difficult to come by. A little bit. After several more vessels of root wine and a long, deep conversation with the man who occupies the throne of the most influential of the North Broadland nations, you part company with the king and are shown out of the citadel. As you step back onto the streets of Telenas, you turn and look back at the mighty fortress that casts a shadow over the broad avenue that leads into the heart of the city. A strange thought suddenly comes to mind. You promptly dismiss the notion. Still, you can't help but wonder. What are we wondering? Bro, don't do this to me. Now I'm always going to wonder what we're wondering. What are we wondering? That, what, the king is not all on the up and up? I mean... Have we even met Thanquirith? I think we haven't. Well, we're at the end of this episode. Thanks so much for hanging out and joining me. Until next time, we're going to check out more adventures in Talinus and probably do some more stuff for the king, hey? Why not? Thanks so much for hanging out and joining me. Until next time, you know what I'm going to say. Peace. Peace, peace, peace.